next question is from Assembly Member Twycross on low pay.
Thanks, Fiona. I've said quite a lot of this in answer to Stephen. There are a lot more accredited living wage employers in London, 280 more just in 1 year, 839 now. The manifesto target was for 250, so we've way exceeded that. So the number of people who are paid the London living wage has massively increased. But I totally accept your point that the number of people who are not paid the London living wage has also increased. And that is something that we discussed at some length. There are various reasons for that. There has been substantial downward pressure on wages. We need to analyse what is going on there in the labour market. My answer is always and everywhere that people should pay the London living wage.
I'm pleased that we finally agree on the actual statistics, which is something that we've raised and debated, obviously, time and time again. And I also appreciate that you've stated publicly that you support the living wage campaign, but I do think that if this session was a school report, you'd be getting an F for fail, as you clearly failed low-paid Londoners, as my colleague Stephen Knight indicated. As you'll be aware, the Assembly Economy Committee recently summoned your correspondence on the living wage following your refusal to release this in response to an FOI request from Stephen Knight's office. We've taken legal advice on what we can say today, and so I'll only be referring to the letters revealing your dismal record in the broader sense. It's quite clear to me from reading the correspondence that you've not been taking your role in the campaign as seriously as you've been suggesting. You could have made much more effort over the past 8 years, and potentially we could have been having a different discussion today. You've sent just 265 near-identical mail-merged letters to companies, only 1 in 4 of whom have responded. You've hand-signed only a couple of these personally and appear only to have agreed to personally meet one of these companies. You've offered chief executives of some of the world's biggest companies meetings with relatively junior, though no doubt competent members of staff from City Hall. Do you agree that you could have tried harder?
No.
Even if you couldn't be bothered yourself, wasn't
I don't
it
think
worthy of
very
one
unfair
of your deputy mayors or senior advisors?
I think you're being very unfair. I've met many heads of the big companies in the city, the big supermarkets, the big hotel groups, and I've made the same point to them in person that I've made in my letters. And I think you're being a little bit unfair on the success that we've had. I mean, to have 839 accredited living wage employers when we set a target of 250 isn't bad going. It's gone up by 280 in 1 year, just in the last year. Tens of millions of pounds are now being paid more to some of the poorest families in London. That's very, very important for us. We have to, as I say, we have to look at the causes of low pay generally in this city, what is going on. The government is bringing in a new living wage from April, which will be, I think, a great thing for the whole of the country. That will make a substantial
the pay, we're talking about the
difference.
London living wage, not the pseudo-national living wage. Currently, the pay of only around 30,000 Londoners is linked directly to living wage, while, as you acknowledged earlier, around 1 million people are paid below it. You say that you've taken this seriously, and you say that you've taken a serious note in this, but this is not reflected, as you know and I know, and everybody who's read the correspondence knows, this is not reflected in the correspondence. You say that you took this personally and seriously, but you personally took it upon yourself to support and undertake a number of high-profile visits and meetings on behalf of high-paid workers in London. For example, when you went to Brussels in person to defend bankers' bonuses. When you boasted in New York about the number of billionaires we have in London, you revealed your true self. The fact is, isn't it, that you weren't interested enough in low-paid workers even to sign the letters yourself.
You
didn't even sign the letters yourself.
I'm sorry, I actually find your remarks offensive, because we've worked unbelievably hard to expand the living wage, and we've had many events in this place to promote the living wage, and
I find your record offensive, as I'm sure low-paid Londoners do.
Across
Chair,
the
I
city.
finished with that.
And I think that the record of this mayoralty in promoting the living wage has been outstanding. And I think the unit in City Hall who's behind it has done a fantastic job, and I thank them and I congratulate them. I think to have boosted it by 800% or whatever it is.
By the
much
number
more
of
than that.
companies, not by the number of Londoners paid the living wage.
It is a
Chair, I
huge
finish
achievement,
with
and it is companies big and small. Companies big and small. We've got Aldi, we've got Lidl, we've got supermarkets, we've got football clubs, we've got pubs.
No, Assemblymember Twycross, you will hear the Mayor's answer.
He's just doing this just a minute.
Will
now,
you
though,
stop
Chair?
wasting time? And can I have a summation of your answer? Assembly.
I'm very proud of what's been achieved. As I say, we've got big supermarkets now paying it. That was never thought possible a few years ago. We've got football clubs, we've got businesses large and small paying the London living wage, and the campaign is snowballing the whole time. So don't knock it, Fiona.